Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease PvP guide. And in this video, I'm going to be going over my thoughts in a match as a Restoration Druid versus a Mage in particular. This composition being a Feral Druid and Disciplined Priest, but some of these concepts apply across all Mage compositions, so you can take from it. Once again, I am running Incarnation Tree of Life against any DPS spec Druid, Feral, or Boomkin. This is a good option as you can pair it with their version of Incarnation, and you'll be immune to Polymorph during that time, and your team can then be more aggressive in that window if they so choose. I really enjoy it, and especially if you're a new Resto Druid, I would almost suggest playing Tree of Life in every match, but it's just a beginner way of getting into it because it's just a powerful cooldown. I hot up my Enhancement Shaman as I expect him to be the initial target. My warrior has defensive stance, but he started the fight in battle, so they immediately tried to punish that. My immediate reaction to Incarnation was Iron Bark, Tree of Life. Iron Bark reduces damage, Tree of Life allows me to instantly heal with regrowth and power through the Feral Druid's crowd control. Now while I'm sitting through that Psychic Scream, I'm telling my team Ring of Frost is being casted. My warrior then uses War Banner to reduce the incoming duration of that crowd control. And you always want to be telling your teammates what's the next crowd control on yourself so that they can rotate an interrupt or another effect to reduce the deadliness of that incoming crowd control. Now Incarnation is over on both fronts. This team is a bit cheeky, and I haven't run across this since Hibernate was back in the game. If a team casts Polymorph and Hibernate on you at the same time, you're kind of stuck in a position where you can't do much. You're going to be Polyed if you're not in Bear, and you'll be Hibernated if you're not. So calling out to your team and immediately pulling away may be a better option. At that point in time, I wanted to crowd control, chain, intimidate, shout into bash, and in that we got a lot of pressure. Here I use Ursul's Vortex. As I see the priest coming towards me, it means he wants to use Psychic Scream, and I can delay Psychic Scream with Ursul's Vortex as it slows the target and pulls them back. Then I tell my Shaman Psychic Scream is incoming, and I ask for Tremor Totem. Now on this global cooldown of Polymorph, I should have shapeshifted instead of applying Hot, and ultimately I decided to Trinket in that moment to save my warrior as it was a dire situation. Now we're kind of stretched for cooldowns with no Gladiator's Medallion, and I may have to just decide to chill back and wait. Now I've picked up on the Hibernate trend and I'm able to avoid it. So you want to be in Bear form to avoid Polymorph, but then immediately out to avoid Hibernate, and this composition can be very finicky to face because of that. Now in this position I see a stun. Fortunately I was able to stun the priest back before he feared me. That was a mismanagement on his part that normally isn't allowed to happen, but you always want to look to see if your opponents are going to make a mistake and leave an opening for you. So when I was in that stun, I was mashing bash, hoping that he would leave a global cooldown for me to stun and break the chain. Now I have to avoid Polymorph and I have to avoid Hibernate. I get stunned on the attempt to shapeshift, but I pre-Iron Barked. As I saw Polymorph being casted, I expected Hibernate also and figured that I wouldn't be able to avoid it, so I used Iron Bark. Then when I get Polymorphed, the target they're attacking is more durable and more unlikely to actually die in that moment. And so you just keep your eye on the incoming crowd control. If you think you can't avoid it, trade the cooldown right before it hits you. They get the Polymorph, but they can't do any damage because you're already stopping it with that cooldown, in this case being Iron Bark. Now I'm looking at my Omnibar. I'm getting prepared for that Incarnation in 23 seconds because that's the next big hit window. And in this point, the priest moved towards me to try and Psychic Scream, so I bashed him to deny it. I see Hibernates being casted, so I'm going in and out of shapeshift forms, trying to maximize mobility to get around the corner. In this position, Meteor, I traded Iron Bark for. I didn't want to expend too much mana. As you can see, I'm already falling behind, and I felt that that was a decent trade cooldown-wise. Feral Druid once again is still trying to Hibernate me out of stuns. You always want to keep an eye on the cast bars against mages to shapeshift Polymorphs and then also Hibernates in this case. And you want to be max ranging the priest. Now I used Tree of Life before Incarnation. This is a mistake. I used it mostly because the mage is in a position where, look, I have to move in the middle of the map, reposition to the opposite pillar, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to be exposed to Polymorph. So I used this to immune that incoming Polymorph, but the Feral Druid realizes this mistake. I didn't trade 1-for-1, which means that in about 5 more seconds, things are going to get spicy, and I'm telling my team that. So we're at a point where we race for the kill. If they pull the trigger on that Incarnation, it could end. But in this position, they have no more Gladiator's Medallion, so we do a double stun into an intimidating shout. With that cross crowd control, we get the mage even lower and ultimately kill him before this window right here and now. that would have almost certainly guaranteed death. My options to deal with this if the mage had not died would have been Astral Shift from my from my Enhancement Shaman, or Die by the Sword from my Warrior, and we may have looked to try and run away during that moment. Once again, you're going to end up making some mistakes in the game, and it's up to you to realize when those mistakes happen. Try to tell your team and see if they can figure out ways to cover them. In that situation, gunning down for the kill was the best way to cover that mistake, and they got caught, and we were able to take a victory off of it. So I hope that this guide was of some help to you, and I will see you on the next one. I make PvP guides every single day to try and give you my thought process throughout matches and try and help you learn the game. So either way, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Hit the notification bell so you can tell when my videos go live. You can also tune in to watch my streams at twitch.tv/Supatease, where we do some goofy singing arena matches, rapping, commentary, high-rated arenas, the whole works basically. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.